Okay, welcome. Today in this lesson we're going to take a look at web pages, and I know there's two key questions that we want to keep in mind here, and I'll guide you through this so that you can kind of see through my modeling how we go about and learn about web pages. But as a focus, I know I have to focus on HTML and on what is needed. So when it comes to HTML, to web pages, what's HTML and what's needed? That's my focus. I know I'm going to be learning online, so the teacher has kind of directed me to this page here, and it's part of what I'm going to be using to learn about making a web page. So again, I'm still focusing on those two key things, what's HTML and what's needed to make a web page. So I'm going to model for you the way I would go about and learn about web pages and those two things, HTML and what's needed. So these are the words that actually appear on that website. It's the very first section. So you want to make a web page. Let me switch over here to a pointer so I can write. It says, hello, my name is Joe. Alright, so this must be the name of the guy who wrote this page. So I'm going to give you a few simple lessons on how to make a web page. So it looks like there's more than one lesson. But I should be able to learn how to make a web page. I know that's part of my goal. I must warn you though, this is for all wet behind the ears newbies. Okay, wet behind the ears. I've not really heard of that. I've heard of newbies, so it's probably connected or similar. I'll make sure I ask the teacher about this here. So what does all wet behind the ears means? But I know newbies is. It's kind of like the freshmen, newbies, they haven't done it very much. If you're at all experienced at this sort of thing, you probably find this tutorial a bit of a yawner. Okay, so yawners, when I'm tired. I've never heard this, so I'm guessing this is if it's boring, or it might be boring if I already know how to do this. It says you'll be happy to learn that it's really pretty simple. Alright, good, I'm glad it's going to be simple. The basic idea is this. A web page is nothing more than a file. File. I know Mr. Juarez talked about file in another class, and it had something to do about some data that's stored on the computer. So a web page is nothing more than a file. So I'm just going to put web page over here, just in my notes. Web page equals file. Alright, this is just for my notes. HTML file to be exact. What is HTML? Alright, so I guess it's a specific type of file. It's called HTML because web page documents have the file extension. I think that's something that like sticks out or is extra. Oh, extension .html or .htm. I think I kind of get this. I know when we were doing the Word documents, Mr. Juarez says something about Word documents always end in .doc or .docx. And I also kind of remember PowerPoint ones ended in PPT or PPTX. Just jot this down. So this is just so I remember. So now they're telling me there's a new file extension. So anytime I see a file that ends in .htm or .html, I'm looking at a web page. Okay. Now HTML stands for hyper. I have no idea what hyper means. I mean, I know my mom sometimes refers to my little brother and sister as hyper, so that's out of control. I don't know, maybe hyper text. I know those are words. Markup. I don't know, when you write something up, and language. I know that's what we use to communicate. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language, something like that. Okay. If you are unclear about this file extension stuff, then you really are a newbie. Yeah, I guess I'm a newbie. So I'm going to have to make sure I ask the teacher about this stuff here, because I'm not really sure what hyper and markup is. But I know one of the things I was supposed to focus on was HTML. So I guess I kind of figured out what HTML is here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. I know it's hypertext markup language. And I know web pages are connected with HTML because it says an HTML file is a web page document that ends in HTML. So, in order to make web pages into files, you need to save them as HTML documents. So, HTML is the extension that you save a web page as. Okay, so extensions for web documents. So web documents end in HTML. I'm going to draw something here for myself. So web pages, I'll draw an arrow here and a here. So now I know that HTML is what web page files end with. Okay, I'm getting it. Okay, there's some more, I guess. So let's get started. First, if you have any of them fancy HTML editors and you have an inkling, what's inkling? And what's a HTML editor? Edit. I know when the teachers tell me to edit something, it means to change something or work on it. To break them in now. Forget it. So they don't want me to use an HTML editor. The worst way to learn is to use one of those things. Okay, so I guess fancy HTML editors are a bad thing. I'm going to cross that out. And I'll put a little sad face. Now, the worst way to learn is to use one of those things, although there are a few that you will find helpful. Okay, so which ones are those? They'll only help you once you learn the basics. So I guess I got to learn the basics before I use an HTML editor. Okay. So basics first. What's the best way to learn HTML? Yes, tell me. Notepad. I know you got this 9 megabyte wonder wizard that says it's gonna make putting up a web page as easy as scratching your head. Just trust me on this one, okay? Okay. Alright. So I have to use Notepad or something like that? I know I've heard Notepad being used before. Not sure how am I gonna use my notebook for this. What the heck is Notepad? Yeah, what is Notepad and where do I get it? Yeah, I can't pay for that. Notepad is a default Windows text editor. Default, not sure what that word means. I'll need to make sure I look it up or ask. But I know it's on Windows and it's a text editor. So text is the words and edit is to change. So something about writing words. On most Windows systems, click your Start button and choose Programs, then Accessories. Wonder if I do that now. Programs, then Accessories. Oh, here's Notepad. Let me click on it. Oh, this is Notepad? Yeah, I've used Notepad before. Oh, that is just to type in text. Okay, it should be a little blue notebook. Yep, that's what it is, a little blue notebook. I'll just draw a little notebook here to remember. That's Notepad. Some words. For our purposes, any text editor will do nicely. Oh, okay, so I can use any one. You can go to any shareware freeware site and pick yourself a zippy new text editor. What are these places? Shareware and freeware sites? Sounds interesting. Should maybe keep this in mind in case I need to find something. Freeware. Maybe something's free or I have to share something. For the time being though, Notepad will do quite nicely. Alright, so I guess I'm going to end up using Notepad. And they mentioned, where did they mention? Let me go back. Oh, so they said I have to learn HTML using Notepad. So Notepad's on the computers. I'm going to use Notepad probably to do something with HTML. Mac users. I don't have a Mac, but I know my friend does. Simple text is the default text editor on the Mac. Oh, so the default one on the Windows is Notepad, and I guess it's just the name for Notepad on Mac, Simple Text. Mac users eventually might want to download BB Edit Lite, a more powerful and free Mac text editor. Okay, well, good to know, but I don't use Macs, I guess, in case I ever need to. Alright, so I think I understand now a little bit more. HTML, if I go back on my notes, HTML is what is used to make web page files, or what they're saved in. I need to ask what all web behind the ears means. Not really sure what hyper means. I should probably ask about that. Okay, so I know HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's how the web page is saved as a file. And I know something that's needed is Notepad. We gotta use Notepad. And I know Notepad's on Windows. It's in the Start. I should probably circle that. Highlight it. It's on the Start button, Programs and Accessories, and it looks like this. Alright, can I answer those key questions? And I think I'm good to keep moving forward here.